Tindra didn't know the giant watching her from the Alpha's throne had been searching for her for 6 months. She didn't know he'd bribed servants, traced old records, and followed whispers through 3 territories just to confirm she existed. And she definitely didn't know that sitting alone at the mating moon ceremony, the only unclaimed wolf in a sea of paired bodies, would be the moment her invisible life shattered into something terrifying and extraordinary. All she knew was that her knees ached from kneeling on the stone floor since dawn, and that the pitying glances from the mated couples were becoming unbearable. The great hall of Ironvale Keep was magnificent in the way ancient things were magnificent, cold, imposing, and utterly indifferent to the small people who moved within it. Torches lined the walls, casting dancing shadows across tapestries depicting hunts and wars, and long-dead alphas frozen in moments of triumph. Every maiden except Tindra wore flowers in her hair. She sat at the far edge of the hall, pressed against the wall as if she could dissolve into the stone itself. No fine dress draped her frame, just the simple gray wool of a servant, marking her status as clearly as a brand. The other unmated females had arrived in silks and velvets, their families flanking them like proud generals presenting their finest soldiers. Tindra had no family, no silk, no hope. She'd attended 7 ceremonies, 7 years of sitting in this exact spot, watching others find partners while she remained invisible. She was counting the minutes until she could return to the kitchens when the hall went silent. Alpha Corvain was descending from his throne. She'd seen him before. Everyone had. He was called the Mountain King, and not just because his territory encompassed the Frost Peak range. The man was enormous, easily a head taller than his largest warriors, with shoulders broad enough to block doorways. His black hair fell past his collar, and his eyes, pale as winter ice, held the flat, assessing quality of a predator. For 6 years since his father's murder, Corvain had ruled Ironvale with brutal efficiency. The nobles feared him. The warriors worshipped him. The servants whispered that he'd never taken a mate because no female could survive his intensity. And right now, he was walking directly toward the unmated females. The eligible high-born females straightened, their mothers hissing last-minute instructions. The room held its breath as the Mountain King descended the stone steps. He passed the first row of nobles without a glance. He passed the daughters of wealthy merchants without slowing. He passed the warriors' sisters, the foreign dignitaries' offerings, the carefully curated selection of the most beautiful, most advantageous matches in 3 territories. He stopped in front of Tindra. She forgot how to breathe. Up close, he was even more imposing. A scar bisected his left eyebrow. His jaw was shadowed with stubble. He smelled like pine and steel, and something that made her wolf, dormant for years, suddenly lift its head. You. His voice was low, rough-edged. Stand. Her legs obeyed before her mind caught up. Standing, she barely reached his collarbone. Your name, he said. Tindra. Tindra Voss. Recognition flickered across his face. Daughter of Edric Voss? The hall buzzed with murmurs. Everyone knew that name. Edric Voss, the traitor executed 12 years ago for stealing from the previous Alpha's treasury. Tindra lifted her chin despite her burning cheeks. Yes. Corvain extended his hand, palm up. Stand with me. Shock radiated outward. She could feel the disbelief of every noble family who'd paraded their daughters before him for years. I don't understand, Tindra breathed. You will. His hand remained extended. Stand with me, Tindra Voss. Let them see. Against every instinct screaming at her to refuse, she placed her hand in his. Fire shot up her arm. Not pain, recognition. Her wolf surged forward, and only Corvain's grip kept her upright. She felt a pulse that wasn't hers, a heartbeat syncing with her own. Mate. The word echoed through her blood. His eyes widened. He'd felt it too. Before she could speak, He turned and led her toward the throne. The crowd parted. Whispers swirled. Shock, fury, confusion. He guided her up the steps and faced the hall. This female is under my protection. Any who question her place answers to me. Lady Mercer stepped forward, face pale with outrage. My lord, surely this is a jest. That girl is a servant, a traitor's daughter. She has my claim. Corvain's tone could have frozen fire. That is all the standing she requires. Without releasing her hand, he strode toward the private passage behind the throne. The heavy oak door closed behind them. Tindra found herself in a torchlit corridor, still gripping the hand of the most powerful alpha in the Northern Territories. Why? She demanded. What do you want? Corvain released her hand. In the dim light, his expression was unreadable. I need your gift, Tindra Voss. Her blood turned to ice. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, he said quietly. You do. The Alpha's study was unexpectedly warm, bookshelves lining 3 walls, a fire crackling in a massive hearth, thick rugs softening the floor. But warmth didn't mean safety. How do you know about my gift? Tindra demanded, backing against a bookshelf. No one knows. Your father told someone before he died. A merchant named Brennick who traded information. Corvain moved to the desk but didn't sit. Brennick sold that information to me. My father would never... Your father was desperate. He left trails for anyone who might one day need to find you. Corvain's voice softened. Protect you. Or use you. And which are you doing? Both. I won't lie to you, Tindra. She laughed bitterly. The Mountain King doesn't lie? Believe what you want. But I'm running out of time, and you're the only one who can help me. He braced his hands on the desk. Someone in my inner council is poisoning me. Tindra's breath caught. I've been dying slowly for 3 months. Nightbloom extract, administered in small doses. His jaw hardened. By my healer's estimation, I have 6 weeks before my heart gives out. Why haven't you executed my entire council? The poisoner has been careful. No evidence. No witnesses. And you think I can help because your gift sees what investigations cannot. You touch someone, you see their truth. Tindra's hands curled into fists. How do you know what I see? Brennick described what your mother could do before she was burned for witchcraft. The same gift passes through bloodlines. The silence stretched between them. What exactly are you asking me to do? Attend me publicly as my claimed mate. That gives you access to every corner of this keep. Privately, you'll read objects I give you. Help me identify the traitor before they succeed. And if I refuse? Then you return to the kitchens and I die within the month. Iron Vale falls into civil war. He paused. And whoever murdered my father 6 years ago finally wins. Tindra's world tilted. Your father was murdered? Everyone thinks border raiders killed him, but I found the body. I saw the wounds. He was killed by someone inside these walls. I'm offering you a trade, Corvain continued. Help me for 14 days. In exchange, I'll restore your family's name, clear your father's conviction, give you enough gold to live comfortably anywhere you choose. My father's conviction was fraudulent. He never stole anything. He was framed by someone who needed him silenced. Your father discovered something he shouldn't have. Tindra's eyes burned. 12 years of shame, believing her father had betrayed everything. You're saying he was innocent? I can prove it, but only if I live long enough. Corvain extended his hand. Do we have a deal? She stared at his hand, remembered the fire when they'd touched, the word that had echoed through her soul. The bond, she whispered. When we touched. Did you? Yes. But that doesn't obligate you to anything? Doesn't it? Something shifted in his eyes. Vulnerability. Quickly shuddered. I won't trap you with fate, Tindra. Whatever you decide, it has to be your choice. She thought of her mother, burned for the gift she couldn't hide, of her father, executed for a crime he didn't commit, of 12 years of invisibility, and she thought of this desperate, dying man offering her the chance to finally matter. Tindra took his hand. 14 days, and then I want the truth about my father. Done. The next morning arrived too quickly. Tindra woke in a chamber larger than the entire servants' quarters she'd shared with 6 other women. A canopied bed draped in midnight blue, a wardrobe carved with running wolves, a window overlooking snow-capped peaks. A young woman named Brenna arrived to attend her. Copper-haired, warm-eyed, assigned by the Alpha himself. The transformation in the mirror was startling. The green dress fit better than anything Tindra had ever worn. She looked like someone who belonged. The illusion shattered the moment she opened the door. 3 noblewomen waited in the corridor. Lady Mercer led them. The servant girl. They've dressed you up. How charming. Her smile was poison. Enjoy it while it lasts. Men like Corvain don't mate with kitchen scraps. Before Tindra could respond, a shadow fell across the corridor. Lady Mercer. Corvain's voice cut through the tension. When you insulted my mate, did you forget I have exceptional hearing? Lady Mercer went pale. My lord, I was simply leaving, and hoping I'll forget this conversation by the time your husband petitions me for his trade route expansion. He paused. I won't. The noblewomen fled. Corvain turned to Tindra. Are you all right? I've heard worse. You shouldn't have to. In his study, 7 objects lay arranged on dark velvet. Personal effects from my council members, Corvain explained. I need you to read them. Tindra approached slowly. Even from a distance, she could feel them. That strange pull her gift created. Reading takes something out of me. I might not be able to do all 7 today. Then we start with the 3 I suspect most. He pointed to a silver ring. Lord Haskell, my father's oldest advisor. Tindra reached for the ring. Her fingers hesitated, then closed around it. The vision slammed into her. A study. Lord Haskell signing documents. Satisfaction radiating from him. But beneath it, a locked drawer. A hidden ledger. Gold flowing somewhere it shouldn't. Tindra gasped and dropped the ring. Her knees buckled. Corvain caught her, guiding her to a chair with surprising gentleness. What did you see? Haskell is stealing, skimming gold from trade agreements. She pressed her palm against her throbbing temple. Not the poison, but he's guilty of something. She drank the water he offered. I can do one more. Her eyes moved to a woman's hairpin, its pearl glowing softly. Whose is this? Lady Seren, my stepmother. Tindra reached for the hairpin. The moment her fingers closed around it, darkness swallowed her whole. Not a vision, a void. Cold. Empty. And at its center, a woman's voice whispering words that turned her blood to ice. The Alpha dies at the council gathering, and when he's gone, Ironvale burns. Tindra screamed. Corvain caught her before she hit the ground. The hairpin, she gasped. Your stepmother. She's planning to kill you at the council gathering, and then burn Ironvale. Corvain went rigid. Seren raised me after my mother died. She held me when I was 7 years old. I'm just telling you what I saw. He turned away, bracing his hands against the desk. Why? What does she gain? I don't know yet, but I can find out. I need to read more of her belongings. Absolutely not. If she discovers what you can do, then we make sure she doesn't. Tindra stepped closer. We have 12 days until the council gathering. 12 days to find proof. But I can't do that if you lock me away. Corvain stared at her. Then something in him opened. 12 days. And you don't go anywhere alone. The next days fell into a rhythm. Mornings, she read objects, letters, trinkets, anything connected to Seren. Each reading built a picture of the web surrounding her, the alliances she'd cultivated. Afternoons, Tindra explored the keep with Brenna, the hidden passages, the abandoned tower where Seren conducted rituals, the garden where she grew flowers that a healer identified as common ingredients in nightbloom extract. Evenings belonged to Corvain. They dined together, away from prying eyes. He told her about his father, about the loneliness of inheriting a throne at 22. And Tindra told him about her mother's screams as the flames consumed her, her father's face the morning they dragged him away. On the 6th night, they sat on the battlements watching the moon rise. "You should know something," Corvain said quietly. "If we survive this, I'm going to court you properly. Flowers and poetry and all the ridiculous things alphas are supposed to do." Tindra laughed. "You don't strike me as the poetry type." "I'm not. I'll be terrible." His lips curved. "But I'll try anyway. Because you deserve someone who tries." "Corvain." "You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know." He looked back at the mountains. "Whatever happens, this is real for me. Not the deal, not the bond. You." That night, Tindra couldn't sleep. She threw off her blankets and crossed to the window. The courtyard below was silver with moonlight. Then she saw the shadow. A figure moved along the wall toward the abandoned eastern tower. She should wake Corvain. Instead, she grabbed her cloak and followed. Voices drifted from above. One she didn't recognize. One she did. "Lady Seren. The girl is a problem. Someone in the keep is hiding a psychometric. The rumors have spread. Should we eliminate her? Not yet. But if she gets too close..." Tindra fled back to her chamber. At dawn, she told Corvain everything. His reaction was cold, calculated fury. "She knows. Or suspects. The council gathering is in 6 days. We need to expose her before then. Then we're out of time." Corvain paced like a caged wolf. "I'd rather fight blind than lose you." "You're not going to lose me." Tindra stepped into his path. "Whatever happens, I don't regret this. Any of it. You made me feel like I mattered." His control broke. He kissed her like a man drowning, one hand in her hair, the other pressing her close. She kissed him back with everything she had, every year of loneliness, every fragile hope. When they parted, gasping, his forehead pressed against hers. "I love you," he said. "I know it's too soon." "I love you too." She smiled through tears. "Against my better judgment." He held her like she was precious, and somewhere in the keep, Lady Seren was planning their destruction. The attack came 2 days later. Tindra was in the library when she noticed the tea Brenna had brought. Something about the color was wrong. She reached for the cup, letting her gift brush against the porcelain. Serene's voice. "The dose is small enough to seem natural. Her heart will simply stop." Tindra walked calmly to Corvain's study. "The tea was poisoned. Seren is trying to kill me." Corvain went still. "Who brought it?" "Brenna, but she didn't know. Someone switched the tea leaves." He was already moving toward the door. Tindra grabbed his arm. "Wait. If you arrest Seren now, we have no proof. Just my word against hers." The truth landed. His expression hardened. "Then what do you suggest?" "We let her believe the poison worked." Tindra's mind raced. "Stage a collapse. The healers declare me gravely ill. Seren gets careless, makes mistakes. Meanwhile, I read more objects. And if she sends someone to finish the job? Fill my chamber with guards. 4 days until the gathering. We can do this." Corvain stared at her. Every protective instinct warring with strategic necessity. "I don't like it." "I know. If anything goes wrong, I will tear this keep apart stone by stone." "I understand." He pulled her into his arms. "I'm terrified of losing you," he murmured. "You won't." She tilted her head back. "We're going to survive this. Then you're going to court me with terrible poetry." A broken laugh escaped him. He kissed her, urgent, desperate, full of promises. Then he became the alpha again. 4 days. And then we end this. Confined to her chambers, Tindra spent every waking hour reading objects. Each reading peeled back another layer. Seren hadn't just married Corvain's father for power. She'd been planted. A spy from the Ashwood Dominion, sent to infiltrate and destroy. She'd eliminated Corvain's mother through whispered suggestions to healers. When the old alpha began to suspect, Seren arranged the border raid that killed him. Now she was finishing the job. On the third night, Corvain came to her after midnight. "I found something today," she said quietly. "In your father's dagger. Seren used it to kill him. I saw it happen." Corvain went very still. He'd figured out what she was. He was writing a letter to warn you, but she got there first. Tindra's voice broke. She whispered something as he died. She said, "Your son will follow you soon enough." The sound that escaped Corvain wasn't quite human. Grief and rage, and something primal. "I trusted her. I let her comfort me while I buried my father." Tindra wrapped her arms around him. "We're going to stop her. Tomorrow." "Your father," he said slowly. The letter mine was writing mentioned Edric Voss by name. He was going to pardon him. Your father discovered Seren's connection to Ashwood. That's why she framed him. The revelation hit Tindra like a physical blow. Her father had been a hero. He'd died trying to save Ironvale. Tomorrow we end this. Side by side. The Great Hall had been transformed. Banners from 7 territories hung from the rafters. 300 nobles filled the space, and Lady Seren held court at the center. No one noticed the shadow slipping through the servants' entrance. Tindra had transformed herself. Simple gray wool, hair hidden beneath a cap, face smudged with ash. She was invisible again. But this time, invisibility was a weapon. Corvain sat on his throne, looking every inch the dying king. Makeup shadowed his eyes. The court saw what they expected. Seren saw opportunity. At midnight, Corvain rose. "Before we proceed, there is a matter of treason." Silence fell. "For 3 months, someone in this hall has been poisoning me. They believe themselves undetected." He paused. "They were wrong." Seren's smile didn't waver. "These are serious accusations, my son. I hope you have evidence." Corvain gestured. Rafe produced a wooden chest containing the hairpin, the dagger, and letters bound with red cord. "These items tell a story. A woman sent here 30 years ago by the Ashwood Dominion. Who murdered my mother? Who killed my father with his own blade? Who has spent 6 years positioning herself to destroy everything he built?" "This is absurd!" Seren's voice rose. "I loved your father. You whispered in his ear as he died. You told him I would follow him soon." The crowd erupted. Seren raised her hands. "The Alpha is unwell. The poison has affected his mind. He needs the truth." Every head turned toward the servants' entrance. Tindra stepped forward, pulling off the cap. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "I'm not dead. Though not for lack of trying on your part." Seren's mask slipped. Cold, calculating, murderous. "You," she breathed. "Me. I've seen what you've done. Every lie, every murder. You're a servant, a traitor's daughter. I have my mother's gift, the gift you tried to burn out of my bloodline." Tindra's voice didn't waver. "I've seen exactly what you did to both our fathers." Rafe produced a final item, a letter bearing the Alpha's seal. "My father's last words," Corvain said, "found hidden in the dagger's sheath. He wrote everything down." Seren's composure collapsed. "Guards, seize them." No one moved. "Your allies have abandoned you," Corvain said. "It's over." Seren's hand moved toward a small vial hidden in her sleeve. "If I die, I'm taking you with me." She lunged. Tindra moved faster. Time seemed to slow. Tindra slammed into Seren, knocking the vial from her grip. It shattered against the stone, purple liquid hissing. They went down together. Seren fought dirty, nails raking Tindra's cheek, knee driving toward her stomach. But Tindra had survived 12 years. She caught Seren's wrist and twisted, pinning her down. It's over. Seren laughed brokenly. You think this ends with me? Ashwood has planned this for decades. Maybe not, but it's a start. Guards hauled Seren to her feet. Iron shackles closed around her wrists. Lady Seren of Iron Vale, Corvain announced, you are charged with treason, murder, and conspiracy against the crown. You can't do this. You lost your rights the moment you killed my mother. His voice roughened. The moment you tried to murder the woman I love. Take her away. The guards dragged her out, screams fading behind the heavy oak doors. Corvain turned to Tindra. I apologize for the disruption, he told the assembly. We will adjourn. The crowd dispersed. Within minutes, only trusted guards remained. Corvain's composure gave way. His knees buckled. The antidote, Tindra said urgently. Now. Healers rushed forward. Hours stretched as they administered treatment. Dawn was breaking when the head healer straightened. He'll live. Full recovery within a fortnight. Tindra's legs gave out. Corvain, somehow upright, pulled her against his chest. I told you, he murmured. Wouldn't dream of leaving you. She laughed and cried simultaneously. Never again, you hear me? Never again. Seren's trial lasted 3 days. The evidence was overwhelming. The verdict: guilty on all counts. The sentence: death. Tindra didn't attend the execution. She spent the morning watching servants burn every poisonous flower from Seren's garden. Corvain found her there as the last flames died. It's done. I know. He stood beside her, close enough that their shoulders touched. The council voted unanimously to pardon your father. His body will be moved to the memorial gardens. Tears streamed down her face. Thank you. He earned it. Corvain cupped her cheeks. Your father was a hero. She kissed him. Soft, grateful. When they parted, he was smiling. There's one more thing. He reached into his pocket and produced a small velvet box. Tindra's heart stopped. I've rehearsed this speech 100 times, he said, taking her hands. It's terrible every time. So I'll just say what I mean. He lowered himself to one knee. You chose me before any of this made sense. You kept choosing me. I want to spend the rest of my life proving you made the right choice. He opened the box. Inside sat a silver ring. 2 wolves intertwined, their eyes set with tiny blue stones. Marry me, Tindra Voss, not because fate told us to, but because we choose it. She stared down at him, this powerful, gentle man who had given her back everything. Yes, she said, yes to all of it. He slid the ring onto her finger, then lifted her off the ground, spinning her while she laughed. I love you, he said. I love you too. Now take me inside before I freeze. His grin turned wolfish. As my lady commands. The wedding took place under the first full moon of spring. The great hall had been transformed. Garlands of white flowers, candles flickering on every surface. Where the throne once stood alone, 2 chairs now sat side by side. Equal partners. Equal rulers. Tindra wore silver. Corvain wore formal black. When she walked toward him, his whole expression cracked open. Wonder, love, disbelief. At the altar, he took her hands. You came, he said softly. Did you think I wouldn't? I thought I might wake up. The ceremony was ancient and solemn. But when the high priestess asked if they chose each other freely, Corvain went off script. I choose her because she's the bravest person I've ever known, because she makes me want to be better, because I can't imagine another day without her. The priestess turned to Tindra. I choose him because he saw me when I was invisible, because he fights for what's right. Because he makes me feel like I belong. Then by the ancient laws of Ironvale I declare you bonded. You may seal your vows. Corvain kissed her. Deep, tender, full of promise. The crowd erupted. When they broke apart, he pressed his forehead to hers. Hello, wife. Hello, husband. The celebration lasted until dawn. Later, in their chambers, Corvain gave her one final gift: documents establishing the Voss Sanctuary, a refuge for those with gifts like hers. Your parents' legacy will protect others, he said. She kissed him with everything she had. As dawn painted the sky, they lay tangled together. I sat alone at that ceremony for 7 years, Tindra said softly, believing I'd never be chosen. Then you said, stand with me, and everything changed. Everything changed for me too. He kissed her palm. I was dying from loneliness. Then I found you. She'd spent her whole life invisible, believing she deserved nothing. And then the giant alpha had walked toward her, extended his hand, and said 2 words that changed everything. Stand with me. So she had, and she would keep standing with him, beside him, for the rest of their lives. Where are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts, and if you'd like to support me, please subscribe. It's free, and it helps more people hear these stories.